Namaste, angels. This is going to be a client reading for a woman made the purchase on the internet. I don't otherwise know her. We haven't exchanged any information or other details, but I think that somebody that's involved in this union may be an earth sign. Whether they are or not, I'm beginning with the energy of abundance. Somebody may just have like the traits of an earth sign if they're not an actual earth sign themselves, or this could be Venus in their lives, right? She increasing their abundance in all forms. This is money, this is love, this is material wealth, this is, just an abundance of joy, happiness, emotional fulfillment, all of that. And opening to emergence, which is very much what it looks like a rise from the ashes. And with all of the bright yellow and orange and, just very vibrant colors, I always say that, and especially with the white light here, that's like Christ light shining in her face, I always say that what's beneath there must have been really, really dark, right? Because where there's light, there's dark. But here, there absolutely is none. So it must be down there. And she's up, raised up from the depths of, that from where she came, whatever that is. Abundance back, maybe from feeling lack as it relates to money or even love or material wealth. Maybe that's from where she's rising to abundance. This is another indication of the rise, transmutation. This is where we take all that darkness that must have been down below us and we transmute it to love. And that raises our vibration. We begin to put out love. We begin to receive love returned to us. Right? The scriptures say that essentially the darkness, the devil, right, comes to take from us, to stick us with a life of lack, right? And then that light comes, that light, Jesus comes. Jesus comes so that I may have life and have it more abundantly. That's like what was just demonstrated in the cards there for me. Now opening to balance, and this has been a really common card over the past couple of weeks, not only in the individual readings, the personal readings, but the collective readings as well. And it's been about balance, as it states. It's been about balance in union, so with respect to the couple. It's been about an individual's balance, maybe they're masculine and feminine harmoniously working together and them finding themselves at peace. And it's been about juggling the different, aspects of life, maybe work and play, things like that. It's also been about air and water combinations coming together with all this air that's floating around here, and then like a lot of the white light and coloration of the card surrounding the masculine, this blue around the feminine, like she is, representing water, he's representing air. And then he has like this white circle on his throat and over his third eye. And I think that those are indications that this is like his intelligence, his logic. He's an air sign. And then this is like over his throat because of communication. Abundance. And birth. This is getting a fresh new start. It's kind of like the Fool card, right? In the tarot, of a fresh new path. Only maybe contrary to the Fool, this is spiritual. You've got, like a Pentecostal dove here. You've got the three rays of the Trinity here. And so this is not only a new path, but a sacred one, a spiritual one on which you're being guided. And it leads to abundance, right? Jesus comes again so that I may have life and have it more abundantly, birth. And opening to the mystic, which also represents air and water for me, for one thing, but is about paying attention to our intuition, listening carefully to that inner voice that we have, not ignoring it, not trying to stifle it. And maybe that's why that the man in the other picture, in the balance picture, maybe that's why he had something over his throat. He was trying to like push the words down and push his voice down and not reveal it. But this says no, like let it out and listen to it. I'll go one more. And it's enchantment. So this for me is about healing. And this woman is sort of like allowing herself to be operated on. She's like fully vulnerable. She's nude. You can't really see her breasts here, but you know, the way that the picture is drawn, you can tell that there's nude breasts there. Her eyes are closed. And I think I see like scratches and stuff on her face. Like she's been through something, but she's, you know, she's here. She's still here. She survived it, and she still has faith. And so she's allowing herself to be healed by these rays. And like one is red or pink here, and one is blue. And by coincidence, I'm using one pink candle today and one blue one. Enchantment back. I'm going to cut. And I've come to the gateway. So you're approaching like a portal, a shift in your life. It's part of that birth of something new. There's going to be a change. But like the pathway and the guidance, the support that you'll find along, you know, this path as you travel through this gateway, you'll realize that the support is endless, it's infinite. And, you know, so is the protection and the guidance. All these stars here, the communication, you'll be receiving messages, communication along the way to continue to guide you. You won't be like thrust into a hole, a cave, and asked to go it alone and not, you know which way to go. All right, you're always going to have that support. Overall energy is retreat. This is another very earthy card for me. This woman is clearly connecting with nature. And she's not only meditating, but she's meditating outside, which is something that I always suggest. You know, if you live in an area that's at all conducive to doing your meditation outside, then do it. And when I say that, I don't mean necessarily like this. If this is how you do your meditation, then by all means, yes, do it like this. But if it just means, you know, stepping outside, maybe barefoot, on your front porch, or if you live in an apartment building like me, then you can't necessarily do that. But going downstairs, maybe sitting in front of your building, going for a walk, going to the park, listening to headphones, just spending time outside, communing and communicating with nature. That helps to open up the flow to abundance. I stopped because I feel more air with this card too. So there may be an air sign, an earth sign, and a water sign, and or combinations of those impactful upon this union. All right, what we have here is one of my cross spreads. Yes, and I say my cross spread because sometimes in my videos I remember to do it, sometimes I don't, or sometimes I purposely do it, and sometimes I just move on because they're all protected. Is that my spreads, my everything is trademarked. So this is one of my cross spreads, and I don't have a problem with anybody using them so long as they recognize that it is my crossbred, because it is, again, it is a trademarked property, registered trademark. In any case, this card will represent you, the divine feminine about herself. And this could be messages from your higher self about you. The masculine as it relates to the feminine. The masculine as it relates to himself and on the union. Overall, the outcome. What the masculine would have the feminine to do, contribute, surrender toward facilitating the union. What he himself is willing to do, ready to do. What the universe would have the two of you to do. Feminine. Forgiveness. So anytime we forgive, First of all, it's more so for us than it is for the person whom we're forgiving. If we don't forgive, if we choose instead to, I'm going to walk around with this and harbor these sentiments that I have, that hurts us. You know, I'm walking around with that. That raises my blood pressure. That, possibly causes cortisol stimulation, the hormone cortisol to be activated and generated in my gut. That makes my abdomen, really in an unhealthy way enlarged. And then that can cause me to have a heart attack. I'm the woman walking around with the enlarged, the visceral fat around her waist that can cause other problems. You see what I'm saying? That can lead to diabetes or all kinds of stuff. Just because we chose to hold on to a negative emotion. This is how it can spiral out of control. So when we forgive, we want to be motivated to forgive for that reason, if none else. And then when we forgive, we're going to want to begin with ourselves. There's some sort of responsibility we hold in a situation, even if we feel like we were wronged, even if we know we were wrong, right? An injustice has been done to me. But I got to admit, this piece is my, responsibility. So I forgive myself for having allowed myself to do this, or for having said that led to that, whatever the case is. And then you forgive others too. The masculine about you, eternal flame. Isn't that nice to have, a card like this reflect that which is here representing the masculine's sentiments about you. So similar to how I said with the gateway and the infinite, the support was infinite, eternal is another way of saying infinite, right? This is forever. This is like throughout all aspects of existence. This is going to continue to burn, is basically what it means. And now it's like there's a fire sign involved, is what I'm hearing and feeling. And somehow impactful. It could be sun, moon, or rising, or it could be somebody else again that is of particular involvement in your union. Masculine about himself, answered prayer. And I did another video personal reading today, and that masculine selected answered prayer as well. It may be something going to them from the collective masculine higher self, that this is where we're at. And what this says, when the masculine says that he feels this way about himself, what it says to me is that he wasn't at all always this way. Like, he didn't necessarily ever before believe in prayer or miracles or anything, at least not for himself. Maybe that was the kind of thing that happens for other people. Other people get their prayers answered. Other people have miracles to occur in their life, not me. But now he's grown spiritually. Maybe he's found some balance, and he's come to a point where he knows that he too is entitled to blessings, is deserving of blessings, and can have them if he makes an intention, makes a request of the universe, is sincere, is fervent. The universe hears, and then our prayers are answered. I'm seeing this air again, as well as the water. Here's another star. From this star is all this white light, more air, and then there's swirlies here, more air, more blue swirlies, water. This butterfly is very, it's not only very Gemini to me, because that's what the Queen of Swords is known for, cutting out everything and changing into something new, changing her whole life, but very Scorpio, as in death and rebirth too. So water sign and air sign. Masculine with regard to the union as a whole. Dreams. So prayers here, dreams here. And they kind of go hand in hand. So it makes perfect sense that he selected them together. Because like the relationship of my dreams, actually having it to manifest in my life is answered prayer. Overall, listening. So we continue to receive this guidance, communication, right? The star represents the sign for me of, and in the tarot, of Aquarius. That means communication, a lot of times electronic communication. Well, this is certainly electronic communication, right? We're like electric beings. Everything is energy, everything, including inanimate objects. And certainly the universe is. So when it speaks to us, sure, it's sending us, you know, an electric, there's a conduit here. So we're receiving an electronic message. But this can also represent communication between the two of you, and maybe via text, or email or something, some sort of electronic communication. And then there's listening and forgiving and being fair, being vulnerable, being, you know, honest with yourself and with the other person about what you want, what your dreams are, what your prayers are, your wishes, and then having them manifest before you. What would the masculine have you to do, likely other than this forgiveness? I'm sure he would be in support of this too. But what else? Balance. So we're back. We started with a balance card, not this one, but we're back with balance again. This embrace card is about one person's inner masculine and feminine coming together in a loving, you know, and harmonious way. This can happen for you when you release negative emotions, negative cords of attachment to fear, to anger, to regret, to resentment. Then you can get balanced out. Remember I said the forgiveness is more so for us. This is for like your health, but not just like physical health, your emotional and spiritual health too. What about the masculine? Relationship. So not only is he willing to work on the relationship that he has with you, but he's willing to work on the relationship he has with himself, because that's going to help him to better approach the relationship with you, and to have better relationships with any and everyone that he has relationships with, of all kinds, you know, friends, employers, employees. When you have a good relationship with yourself, it enables you, it empowers you to be able to deal with other people appropriately. What would the universe have the two of you to do? And it is to allow for the rebirth, right? Don't fight this. So definitely, again, you're going to have to let go of this, because this is a block. This is a negative cords, negative, you know, emotions are a block to abundance and to rebirth. Well, there has to be first be death. So it has to be death to these old sentiments and feelings so that I can have the birth of new sentiments and feelings, more loving ones. That transmutation card, taking the darkness, transmuting it back to love. So the darkness has to die so that love can be born. And the outcome. Sorrow. This outcome is one of those, like in tarot, that it does not have to be. Because again, if either of you is feeling sorrow, it begins here with releasing it. Now, to the more positive, ending in sorrow, the outcome being sorrow, it can be yes, because we went through this breakthrough. Like last week, I did a moon reading. I don't know if you saw it, but there's a card that I pulled in there. And it was a heart. And the heart was cracked in half, and there was like water, you know, like a clear liquid running out of the heart. I pulled it in reverse. So I said this period of allowing like all the pain and everything to leak out is over. And so we're stronger now. That's like what has to happen here. Like you have to go through sorrow sometimes and mourning. And sometimes you want to mourn the stuff of which you're letting go, especially like if it's a place, if it's a person, if any of that comes involved. I got to, in this relationship with this friend, I got to move to a new apartment. That kind of stuff can lead to some sorrow. And so we may want to take a moment to mourn those things. But even the relationships, the pain that we go through with relationships, it's like it has to happen in order to get us to the next phase and to get us to a point where we can not only handle, but navigate these situations in a healthy way. So that's the positive outlook on an outcome being sorrow. Plus, when it's Mother Mary, you can't really go wrong either, because she's the one that answers prayers, or one of the people. And, she is here the mother of forgiveness. This is her crossing herself here as well. And she is who gives birth, right, to the new. So that was from the masculine's perspective anyway. That may be the way that he's seeing it. Like, after all this, she's still going to be sad, or I'm still going to be sad, or we're still going to be sad together. Let's see what the universe has to say. I'm beginning with friendship, but I feel that it is with regard to your connection and beginning as friends or something. Oh, okay. See, when I can't sit still, there's a reason. Other than the fact that I'm a Gemini. Union is right behind friendship. And they're the same color cards for the most part. Also, when I look at this band, often it reminds me of union. So there's a negative and a positive, for this too. Not here in your spread, but sometimes I see this and I say, oh, there's some friend that wants to be more. Look at that ring. And then sometimes, like what just now happened, I was feeling that this was about the two of you being friends. And then there's still the ring. There's still, the connotation of this is a much deeper relationship than any friendship. And then sure enough, boom, union is behind it. All right, so I'm going to open. Okay, boom again, soulmate. Friendship. Past love. So here's a broken open heart too. And this can be past hurt and things of that nature that lead us to, in our later relationships, struggles, because we're still holding on to stuff from the old one. So you got to let go of this too. Allow whatever this is to spill out as well. Friendship. Right. That leads to spiritual growth. That enables you. That empowers you. Spiritual growth. I'll go one more. An open relationship. Ooh, is that karmic lady? Yep. And she's right behind it. And this was falling away for me to show you. So this was coming through as being about a relationship out in the open. She may be a block to that. Maybe that's why I was made to see this. Maybe that's why your relationship is not in the open yet, because of this person or whatever this represents. She represents here in your life. Spiritual growth. I'm going to cut and let's see what we can find out. Long distance. I think I came to long distance for the other couple too. This is funny. You guys can heal this. You guys can heal this distance that is between you. Again, by beginning with that forgiveness. You got to open up to it, be receptive to things being different, not expect them to be like that past love again, or even the past hurt you experience with this divine masculine. You got to, moving forward, have the faith that we're not going to repeat those things again, because that's how you heal the distance and come back together. Overall energy is obstacles. To represent the divine couple. The recent past, the near future. Blocks to the union. I was moved to put that there. I'm kind of going out of order here. The divine masculine's higher self. The feminine can do what the masculine can do. Further advice from the universe and the outcome. It's another one of my cross spreads, although right now it does not look like a cross. Divine couple. Communication. So I talked about communication a lot when I saw those stars, again, representing Aquarius. And I said it could be electronic communication. It can certainly be on the brink of receiving some text. And maybe you're in separation. That's what the distance was about, perhaps. Maybe there's been obstacles to this. Underneath this obstacles card is also upright, the dark male. So I don't know if this applies to your masculine. But he's right here behind the car. And that happened too. It wasn't obstacles. There was the other couple's overall energy. But when I picked up the card that was young male, the dark male was under it, also upright. And then below that is the blonde female. So as opposed to that, quote unquote, karmic one we saw before. Maybe Lord Ganesha moving those things out of the way, or at least the obstacles, so that this communication can happen. The recent past. True gem. And I feel this may be about an air sign. Something may have gone on with an air sign. I guess the air sign that I've been feeling in part throughout the reading. Let's see what else comes up. They may actually be a Gemini. Near future, short-term heartache. So this is again with the heart breaking. Remember, the masculine was right when he saw the sorrow. But short-term. Masculine's higher self here. Young male. The same young male I was just talking about. So maybe you have a young or youthful dark male too. That it represents the masculine for you in your life. Blocks to the union. This makes sense because this goes along with what I started to say before that quote unquote karmic reveals herself. I was saying that there's a desire to be out in the open, right? To be in the public, but I guess that has not been happening. And so that's a block to the union. You guys need to get together and spend some time together in a way like where you're able to acknowledge your feelings for one another without hiding it. What can you do? Dating queen. Okay, well, in the meantime, if you haven't already, about to get like multiple suitors. And you're going to have to make some decisions and considerations and, what you're going to do. Sometimes along our path, we are meant to, date somebody else for a period or something like that. Let's see what else comes out. What about the masculine? Past life. He's got a past life issue with which to deal. And it may be involving that. I'm sorry. I just got something. Something may have happened with a young male, not necessarily the masculine, in June. Maybe there was a young male born into his family in June. I don't know. I'll keep listening too. But he has a past life issue, like a karmic issue with which to deal. And so that may be reason for a short-term heartache, some short-term separation in order to handle business. And what does the universe have to say here? Wallflower. So somebody's not fully engaged either. And I don't mean that in like a malicious way. I mean, like, that's kind of like their nature. But what the universe would have them do is to jump in and take a risk for a change. Like, be that, quote unquote, fool from the tarot that embarks upon a new path, like just on blind faith. The outcome. Fair male. So where I was saying here, you may have some suitors. It may be this, you may have to make a choice. And it may be this gentleman who, it's pretty ironic because red hair tends to represent the light for me. He always represents or tends to come through as a darker, kind of like the devil in the tarot. A temptation, a karmic energy. You may have to make a choice as to whether or not you want to engage with this person or not. Okay, now I want to go to my Angel Tarot, which is one of the cards or one of the decks that led me to thinking initially that there might be an earth sign involved, because I was beginning with abundance and this, but they both can actually just be about abundance. This card very much so. It's material, it's material wealth, financial security. It's being around family and friends, being emotionally fulfilled, emotionally happy, and just sort of like at peace and enjoying life, a very happy family life. Financial security, finding magic in the little things in life. And opening to the 10 of water, a contented and rewarding family life. Your emotional and material needs are met. Trustworthy relationships. Ten of earth. And opening to the hermit with Archangel Raziel. Spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, self-discovery. That teaching and discovery and also the learning, that's all going to be you. You're going to be the teacher, you're going to be the student, you're going to be all the above. Hermit represents earth signs, yeah. The hermit represents the sign of Virgo or other earth sign, Taurus or Capricorn. And again, that guy, that fair male, he comes through as a very Capricorn sort of energy, as does the wallflower. The wallflower tends to be, for me, somebody that is or behaves like a Capricorn, Scorpio, or Gemini. But again, I'll do one more. I don't know what I was looking for. Maybe this. I'm not a fan of this card. The Five of Air, an unwise choice. Learn what you can from this situation. Review everyone's motives. The Five of Air for me is not only about conflict. Fives are about conflict. Fives are about like the need for a clearing of energy, for a change. A change is coming when you see a five. But the Five of Air or Five of Swords tends to not only be about conflict, but conflict like in which we've had a hand, like we brought this upon ourselves. We did something. And it may not have been malicious, but maybe something in hindsight that we realize, like, I shouldn't have done that. How they say, like, you put your foot in your mouth, like that sort of thing. They also wanted us to see the High Priestess, however. Listen to your intuition, have patience, and consider carefully what you want before acting. Having just seen the Five of Air and now the High Priestess, there may be, again, a Gemini involved in this situation somehow. The High Priestess is a Gemini. Twos represent the sign of Gemini 2 and duality, also partnership and faith. They represent faith and the need to have it. Because like with a number 1, for example, so that's when you start to have thoughts. And, the universe, they show us 1s and they show us 11s and they show us 11 to get our attention to say, hey, careful. you're manifesting your thoughts into your reality now. And then once we reach 2, it's the faith to believe that that's true, like even when we can't see it. And then by the time there's 3, we start to see something tangible, you know, in our manifestations. High Priestess can also be a water sign. So also I was saying I had seen a lot of air and water in your cards earlier too. It could be either, or somebody could be, you know, air, sun, and water rising, or water, moon, or vice versa. High Priestess. All right, I'm cutting. High Priestess guides you to pay careful attention to your intuition though. So similar to paying attention to your thoughts, I guess, like with the 1, and then having faith. And it's the 3 of air. So this is pain, sorrow, heartache, sometimes betrayal, loss, great sadness. Take time to heal. There's a need to forgive yourself and others. So here's this energy of forgiveness coming up yet again in your reading. Very, very important for you as part of a healing. Because I when I start talking about stuff, like things come out, I just let it come out. But sometimes I don't know why. I know that there's definitely a reason and that it's important. What I'm saying is important. But sometimes at the time I don't realize why. So I don't know why I went into cortisol and stuff. I majored in biology in college. The first time I went to college, you know, like right after I graduated from high school. So hormones and all of that kind of stuff, I that's like kind of in my blood. But I don't typically go into a whole conversation about cortisol and, you know, potential heart attack and all that kind of stuff. I just felt the need to say, like, there's some real forgiveness necessary. Like there may be a medical issue waiting to happen if you don't release some of this, like, stress and pain. Very nice. Maybe that 3 of air was showing up to show me that there had been a breakup before, or a separation. There was an inclination that there was may be separation here with this couple. Ace of water can definitely be about reunion, reconciliation, falling in love, or the resurgence of a relationship, spiritual growth, and enhanced intuition, maybe even a new home. So I think that, yeah, we just saw like the loss, the hurt, and now here is the resurgence. And this is your overall energy. So very, very nice to have. The Ace of water, I've been talking about water signs, is a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio also, or somebody like with those traits or behaviors. The masculine is the Knight of Fire. Passionate, adventurous, self-assured, and restless is the Knight of Fire. A sudden event that needs immediate attention. Time is of the essence. Think things through carefully. The Knight of Fire is, of all the knights, for me, this is the Prince Charming. This is the one that comes through to save the day. He is a Sagittarius, Aries, Leo, or somebody taking on those traits or attributes. Surrounded by the 3 of water, a celebration, a wedding, graduation, or a birth announcement. The need to have more fun. Maybe there's a Gemini Cancer involved, like a cusper. That just came through. I know it's random. I apologize. The masculine subconscious is renewal or judgment. So another 2 for you. Again, representing partnership, duality, faith. Review and evaluate, a favorable assessment of the facts. It's time to move in a new direction. So this is certainly about relationships, not just romantic, but I think obviously in your case, or in this case, romantic for one, at least. There may be other relationships that need to be addressed too, like with friends and family and stuff like that. The Judgment card as it relates to relationships is about having come to a crossroad, and there's a need to figure out, like, what are we doing from here? Where are we going from here? Like, make an assessment, evaluate, are we going to continue on together as, a union, as a romantic couple, as friends, whatever. As it relates to, like, in a general sense, and maybe being here in the subconscious, it can have another meaning too. It can be about the masculine maybe being overly judgmental about himself. If he knows that he has caused some sort of hurt, harm, pain, and he may be seeking forgiveness and just like beating himself up here, right? Overly judgmental against himself or, others. And as it relates to abundance, it's sort of like the Three of Pentacles, but of course it trumps it. And I don't know why I compare it to the Three of Pentacles, because renewal or judgment represents the planet Pluto for me. So there's more water. Pluto rules the sign of Scorpio. And if I remember correctly, it is an ancient ruler too of Pisces. So that would be the water associated with Pluto. Is that Pluto or Jupiter I was thinking about? I think that's Jupiter. Never mind. Yes. But definitely Scorpio. And so I don't know, but it comes through as like a Three of Pentacles sort of for me, because it's like similar meaning as it relates to abundance or it's earned money. Like, you deserve this money. So it's like you're getting a promotion, you're getting a raise, you're getting a bonus or something like that. So it can be from your boss here on the earthly plane, or it can be from, boss up there. And there, as it relates to a promotion, then sometimes it's about ascension too. Not just, the monetary or the material. A promotion can be, I'm raising you up, like to a higher energetic vibration as well. Feminine. The Four of Earth, being too frivolous or too cautious with money, good business decisions, and giving to the less fortunate. Yeah, it can mean any of those things with money. It can be about love too, as far as I'm concerned, and similar meanings as it has with the money. It could be, giving too much of yourself or not giving enough of yourself, like holding back. Surrounded by another four. Fours are about foundations too. So this could be saving money to, to pay for a home, or, pay your mortgage, pay your rent, pay your taxes, or something associated with a home, so you can have peace, be at peace, be content that your home is comfortable and your bills are paid. This can also be about commitment. The Four of Fire. The Four of Fire can be about marriage. It's here mirroring the Three of Water, which is about celebration. You guys could be celebrating, getting back together or something. Contentment, peace, and abundance. A happy home life and the successful completion of a project. And in the feminine subconscious, the Two of Air, being unable or unwilling to make a decision, a stalemate, pretending there's no problem. The Ace and Three of Water can have something to do with children too. I'd say it was, still a positive situation, but that just popped up. As can the Ten of Water. This represents like family, children. Actually, these three cards, and I have one more, the Six of... All Cups cards or water cards can represent family to me, in my opinion. But for me specifically, the ones that tend to are the Ace, the Three, the 6, and the 10. The only one we don't have here is the 6. A contented and rewarding family life. Your emotional and material needs are met. Trustworthy relationships. And at the root, so you got a lot of 4s here. Missing an opportunity, discontentment or boredom. This 4 showed up in this same exact position for the couple I read for before you. I'm pretty sure. Missing an opportunity, discontentment or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. So the angels want you to notice that you have this one really, really beautiful cup here, and stop mourning the loss of these 3. Like, let's move on from this before we miss out on something here too. Like that song by Aerosmith, I don't want to miss a thing. That we're at risk here of missing out on this. And maybe a decision has to be made, a conscious decision about what we're going to do here in this situation. You got two, twos mirroring each other. The two of air opposite the two, or judgment card, the renewal card. Just card number 20 makes it a 2 or an 11. These are both 11s too. The heart of the matter. Unity. Very nice. Traditional viewpoints or methods. Spiritual organizations. Seek out mentors and like-minded friends. So as I was saying about judgment, now we have unity crossing judgment. It can be about friends too. And it can be a decision. Who are we taking with us basically? And who are we leaving behind? Has to do with this. It's also about commitment, marriage, right? Your foundations, happy home. It can be about, home purchase, anything legal, higher institutions. I think it's about commitment though, of some sort. With, again, with the Ace of Water is the overall energy. When I pick up the Ace of Water to see what was underneath it, it's the Sun also upright. So happy outcome, brilliant new ideas that lead to success. Have confidence in yourself. And underneath that is the 8 of Earth, also upright. This is when you're rewarded for hard work. So I was talking about like earned income. Where it comes to the 3 of Pentacles, the same is for the 8 of Pentacles. Skilled work is rewarded. Learning all there is to know about a topic, and maybe even going back to school, which unity could also mean. Learning a new trade, maybe to improve your, health, your livelihood, your home, your finances, so that you can continue to be at peace. You don't have to hold on so tight to your purse strings here. You can feel even more comfortable by employing a new trade. Underneath that, one more upright is the 3 of Fire. Abundance. Things look very good. Have patience at this time and make long-term plans. So and then you graduated to the 4. So you are doing well. Now the next card is upside down, so I would not include it, but I want you to be aware of what it is, because this can easily turn into this. Ego, or the devil in the traditional tarot. A false sense of entrapment, being overly focused on material things. So like money, material things. Also negative or fear-based thoughts, holding on to the resentment, the fear, the pain. Is all of that attached to the devil? And look what's underneath that. Wow, I could keep going. The 3 of Earth that I keep talking about is underneath that. And here's another 3 of Earth. The Empress is certainly a 3 of Earth also. And here she's holding a bit like a child may be impacted by the decision that has to be made here. Maybe it's a decision of moving in together, or again, something involving a home, and it's requiring a lot of thought, like sort of a blending of families and things of that nature. Okay, these were upright, this was upside down, this was like this. All right, I'm going to stop guessing, though my guesses are intuitive and educated and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to stop. I'm going to instead move on to the romance cards and allow them to give us some further clarification as to what's happening here. Although we're starting out with some very, very beautiful cards and energy already. I'm beginning here with playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. And opening to express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. Express your love. Here, this could definitely be proposal of at least some sort of commitment, if not. The Knight of Fire, unity, or the Hierophant, the High Priest, and the 2 of Air, like a decision, yes or no, to this, to family, to getting back together, to renewal, to happy home. Sorry, I know that was random too. Unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. So as this relates to you, and or your union with him, I said you first because that's what I felt first. So let me go with that first. Imbalance. And I think that has shown up here already in this reading, earlier in the reading, maybe the first or second spread. in balance. So we can work on in balance with like meditation and different things like that. I just looked down at this word chemistry because I was talking to you before about biology, chemistry, and hormones and stuff. Maybe it had something to do with it. I don't know. Another potential meaning for this unrequited love, it can be associated to these threes. This one and the others that showed up may be attached to a third energy, possibly a third person. That needs to be removed from the equation, like they don't fit. That's an unrequited love. Express your love. Stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. Express your love. Chemistry. There's a strong magnetic attraction here. Chemistry and past life relationship. You've known each other before. Chemistry, I'll go one more. Finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. Chemistry, I'm going to cut. Well, what was that? Getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. And back to playfulness. After all of that, all that shuffling and whatnot, we're back to the card with which I started. The overall energy is honeymoon. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. And November 4th. Oh, probably because all these fours. Like this could be a November 4th right here. 11, 4. 11, 4. So I think November 4th is something, and I think it is a full moon on November 4th. Don't quote me, but I believe November 4th is a full moon. And you got a bunch of 11 4s here on the table. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. That's your overall energy. So 11-4 can be particularly impactful upon you, important for your union. An ace is also an 11. Your overall energy was the ace of water. It may be here representing Scorpio and 11-4. A 3 is sticking out at me too. So, okay. They wanted us to see the world. A job well done, joy, contentment, and gratitude, and the path toward enlightenment. So this too can possibly involve a third energy. But what it's about is like leaving that third energy alone, pulling away from it. And we know we should have done it a long time ago. We wanted to. We did not want to remain where we were, but we did. Like we overstayed our welcome, and we're well aware of that. So is the universe. And, you know, it feels for us. It's empathetic to us. So it helps us. It eases us out of the situation. That's what the world is about for me. It's similar to the tower, except for the tower is abrupt. Like, boom, all of a sudden I'm changing, you know, the energy around you. The world can sometimes require some patience because it gets started and then sometimes it doesn't finish. Or we can't see that it's still, you know, that something's still happening. And so we just have to have that faith that I talked about with the twos, and trust and some patience to see that it is still happening. And underneath this, it's upside down, but I think it's still relevant, is release or death, which does represent the sign of Scorpio. The end of a phase or a situation, spiritual transformation. It's time to move on. This also indicates it's time to let go of something, maybe whatever this was. Another relationship, a job, an old home, whatever. It could be any people, place, or thing, a combination, you know, of those. It's something that we need to let go of so that we can have new. like vacate a space for new. Here atop the Knight of Fire, keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. Atop the Three of Water, love yourself first. So there's another energy, and it would seem another person, perhaps, quite possibly, or several persons. Maybe it's a child or children, or it's a child and that child's mother, or children and that child's mother, and that could be, you know, to whom the unrequited love is attributed. This card guides like where we've been putting other people before us, living and or loving for other people. This card guides the masculine to put himself first, prioritize himself. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. Atop renewal, religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. So there may be some sort of ideology that it's either, you know, an ideology can be holding him back, and there could be an ideology that's propelling him forward too. Like it's like I'm feeling like the energy of being a traditionalist. Like there's a way to do things, a way to go about doing this. So I got a belief system that's causing me to do something here, but then I got to do something. Maybe that's what's bringing about this energy of commitment too, because remember, unity, or the high priest, the Hierophant, is here. So that could be what religious factors are about too. Like it's traditional to, you know, enter a proper relationship or to get married, to get engaged, with judgment crossing unity, and then being topped with religious factors. It can certainly have something to do with that. Religious factors also can show up for me just because, you know, of the divinity of the unions, of the relationships for which I read. That in itself can be religious factor. Here atop the Four of Earth, separation, time apart from your partner is on the horizon. I think this is coming to an end. I think it's already been in existence and it's coming to an end. But it's in part going to come to an end when you let go of yourself. Like you, in part, blocking the energy with your, you know, restraint and like the unwelcoming energy. Again, there's a need to forgive and things of that nature. And that's going to allow for flow. Remember, we have honeymoon here. We have the Ace of Water here. We have all other cards that would indicate there's not going to be separation. Here, see, boom. I knew it. I was just about to say reconciliation may be on the table too. And this also happened for the last couple for whom I read as well. Not in the same placements, but they had separation and reconciliation on the table at the same time. And for me, that means, like when I see them both, first of all, separation doesn't exist at all to me. It's a manifestation of our own like thoughts and stuff like that. And it's something that we could rid ourselves of. That's how I feel about it. And I don't feel it's a negative thing. And certainly not always. If it ever is, it's definitely not always a negative thing. Each party involved in the union should be getting things done, you know, with themselves, for themselves, on themselves. But when I see them together, even more so, it's like how silly is you know, this energy to even become worried about. It does not exist. These negate one another, or the reconciliation negates separation. But here you have reconciliation in a really awesome place. So we knew this was coming since I saw the Ace of Water. Since then, I was talking about reconciliation, and here it is. And it's atop the Four of Fire, where I said this is about commitment, or this could be reconciliation. The romance angels are affirming that is indeed the case. Someone from your past is returning to your life. Here atop the Two of Air, finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. I think you're going to have to let go of any fear and attachment, you know, to obsessing about money too. Have a little like trust and faith in the universe that it will provide. The universe does provide, and you have had a lot of cards that would indicate that it's certainly going to provide for you. You've had a lot of cards about abundance, a lot of threes. They're not all negative. Threes can also be positive. They're about abundance. You had those tens, right? The 10 of water and the 10 of earth. Those are both about, feeling comfortable, financially secure, emotionally happy, at peace, content. So I think that you should allow yourself to be, just that. Here's that 10 of water. And it's saying here on top of that, it's safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. So again, you've been holding back, and that's evident from the 4 of earth. So it's time for you to loosen up the reins on yourself to allow for flow here. At the root, that 1 cup that I was talking about, it's new love. It's your reunion. It's your reconciliation. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings, but this new person is your old person anew, renewed, death and rebirth. At the heart of the matter, atop unity, or the high priest, or the hierophant, as he's commonly called, is forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. And, that's definitely necessary for this change, right? This 5 to take place, this old energy to be cleared out and new energy to come in for you. We're definitely going to need forgiving and learning. This is enlightenment. This is empowering to us, and it helps us to be able to move forward in our commitments and to let go of those people, again, who are not meant to continue on our journey with us. Some friends will be gone. Not everyone is meant to, remain with us throughout our lifetime. People have different seasons. So you'll figure out what those are. Both of you will figure out what those are, because the masculine certainly has at least one person of which to let go as well. All right, let's do your advice. Very nice reading. Kind of reminds me of the collective reading for the week that we just had, because there was a lot of healing involved there. That may have been the general. I don't know if you saw the general reading. There was a lot of healing involved. Perhaps the love too. In any case, here's your advice from the Tony Carmine Solano Universal Love Oracle. The goddess, and it's like the goddess of the moon. Here's another moon here. This can be about 11/4 as well. A day where the energy sort of changes, shifts for you. And maybe it's because the masculine shifts into this feminine energy of surrender and sort of lets go of all of, like the control he's trying to have and things like that. For you, transmutation. So taking all that anger, the pain, the resentment, the regret, and transmuting it back to love, as we discussed earlier on in the reading. From the hashtag creepy deck to the masculine travel. This is a card of movement. It can be about the relationship going on. It can be physical travel, is what it's saying. Physical movement. The Knight of Wands can be about movement too. Maybe he has to come to you. Maybe he has to come to you. That's coming up. Whether this is metaphorical or physical travel, it's positive. Or both. It can be both too. For you, spiritual growth. So that's what's here. I don't know if I ever clearly said it, but that's what I picked these cards up just a moment ago to say, that this is about the enlightenment, the spiritual growth, like coming into a new understanding, a new spiritual understanding after having experienced all these things and learning more about yourself, learning more about your partner. From the angels to the masculine, 4 of air. This can be about travel too. Time to rest or take a vacation. Allow more time before making a decision. Meditation may provide answers. Maybe he's guided to get away for a little while if he's able to, in order to make a decision about, again, who remains and who needs to go. For you, you got another 10. This one's not as fun as the others, but you know, it'll do. Too much work. Accept help from others. Life is out of balance. So we have that again. And that can lead to stress-related health concerns, as I talked about a couple times earlier on. That's a reminder for you. For the masculine, from the romance angels, healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. But it's not just your parents. It's any and everybody who's so impactful upon your life that they affect whether or not you know, love yourself first, whether or not you get to live and or love for yourself, or you're trying to do it for them. You're a people pleaser. And I think that the family issue that he needs to heal is something having to do, again, with a child. So maybe he has a child, he has children, and he's got to work out an issue with their mother, cut that cord. I'm not saying that they're involved, you know, I didn't get into that. I don't even necessarily feel that, especially with the world having shown up. It shows that there's an end to something, so that would indicate no. But I think that that family issue has to be addressed and healed. And that may require a moment of separation, but like a moment, because the reconciliation is still here. So the separation is still negated, like it doesn't exist. We're always connected, and we will be connected again in the, you know, in the way that we want to. And lastly, but not least, for you from the romance angels, this could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. I hope that you find your reading enjoyable and helpful, dear. Namaste, angel.